Hey there, this is Ashley, your host for the Ready, Set, Depart podcast. Do you want to make some memories and travel with your family? It's not as hard as you think. Let's go. Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Ready, Set, Depart podcast. We are so glad you're here. It's probably not a surprise that I once dreamed of loading my family into an RV and spending a year on the road. This was during the pandemic when we were stuck in our small bubble. I had a vague idea of where we'd go and what we'd do. At the time, Trooper had just started school, and the idea of homeschooling excited me and terrified me. A few things stopped me from going through with it, mostly the poop hose, if I'm honest, but we did get the chance to live in Southern California for a year, which felt like a big adventure, minus the poop hoses. That was the perfect chance to try out homeschooling. I told myself, we'll do it for a year and we'll see. The first 3 months, horrible. Trooper was angry, I was unsure, and many days ended with both of us crying. But then we found our rhythm. And what we discovered is that homeschooling was what our family needed because we're travelers. And because of that, we're also researchers. So homeschool naturally fit into our lives. So, as we start our third year homeschooling, I want to share why homeschooling and traveling are such perfect companions and how you can make learning happen wherever your adventures take you. And if homeschooling isn't your thing, that's fine too. You can use these same ideas to sneak a little learning into your next family trip. Why homeschooling and travel work well together? Well, the number one reason, flexibility. In our state, we're required to log 180 school days, but we have from August to August to get those in. So if we take a few days off to go to Disneyland, that's okay. We can make it up. But here's the best part. Learning happens naturally when we travel. For example, one spring, Trooper and I went to Balboa Park in San Diego for the big exchange, where museum members get into all the other museums for free. We stopped in the San Diego Museum of Art, honestly, mostly because it was free. And Trooper decided to hunt for the oldest piece in the building. That meant we looked at every single thing. He was engaged, curious, and we both left loving that museum. And for the record, the oldest item was a set of Chinese metal bowls from 1300 BC. That wasn't planned, but it was unforgettable. And since this whole episode is about learning while traveling, I thought it'd be fun to bring Trooper on for a minute to share what he remembers about that day. Hey, Trooper, do you remember when we went to the San Diego Museum of Art and found the oldest thing?
Yes, I do. It was really fun. We combed the entire museum just looking for the oldest thing there. And while we were doing that, we also found our favorite thing, like picture art of sorts.
I remember liking the Monet. What did you like?
I think the same one.
Yeah, Monet's pretty cool. So what do you think about homeschooling and traveling?
It's not a combination for disaster, I know that. Like it is with public school and traveling. It's much more like you can be much more open, like, oh, we can take this trip. We can, not, oh, we need to get permission from the school, blah, blah, blah.
So do you think that you learn stuff when we travel?
Yeah, I think I do. Like, well, depending on where we are, it's different for every single place.
Did you learn anything from like traveling to Japan or when we lived in San Diego?
It varies a lot. Like, it would take a long time to explain.
Well, just think
all
of
it.
one thing.
I think in Japan, it was just kind of like cool to be like in like just learn of like what like just learn how different it is from America. Like just
That other people live differently than we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
So do you like homeschool?
Well, sometimes it gets kind of annoying when you have friends in school, but then you don't get like then it just gets kind of weird. Like when you're traveling all the time, it honestly gets quite weird.
Yeah, that makes it a little hard sometimes.
I think it was the right thing because school was getting kind of a little bit crazy. So would have been really hard to find a school in San Diego.
And we like to travel
Mm-hmm.
and not be
Bound by the
the,
you have to be here 180 days.
yeah, it does work for our family. Thanks, Trooper.
Thanks.
Travel has a way of sparking curiosity and making lessons stick. I never loved history in school, but after visiting Pearl Harbor while we lived on Oahu, the stories of December 7th, 1941 became real to me. It wasn't just dates and numbers anymore. It was personal. That's what travel does. It takes facts off the page and puts them into your heart. So, how do we make it work? When we travel, we don't try to replicate a full day of school. Instead, we focus on our big three. That's the handful of things we aim to do every day. Maybe it's reading, writing, and math. Maybe you add scripture study in on that. Maybe it's any other of the most important things. But for us, the big three usually take about an hour. After that, we adventure. Museums, zoos, parks, hikes, whatever the day brings. Then later we talk about it. Maybe Trooper had a question. Maybe something sparked his curiosity, like the time we saw a roadrunner at the Living Coast Discovery Center in Chula Vista, California. By the way, they do not look like the purple cartoon bird, and they definitely don't say beep beep. That led to a deep dive into roadrunner facts at home later. That's homeschooling on the road. It's less about schedule and more about rhythm. Do you need help making homeschool work on the road? These things will make homeschooling easier while traveling. The first is travel journals. Trooper records what stood out to him with writing, drawings, or gluing in pictures. It sneaks in handwriting practice and gives us a scrapbook of our adventures. There's also digital books and apps. I snap photos of the book pages we'll need while traveling and load them into GoodNotes on our iPad. There are also great apps for math, handwriting, learning languages, just about whatever. Finally, audiobooks, podcasts, and YouTube are perfect for car rides and flights. The point is, you don't need to bring your entire homeschool room with you. You just need a few tools that fit your family. And now for the real talk. Let's be honest. Will your kids always love everything you plan? Nope. Will they sometimes be tired, sick, or grouchy? Absolutely. Will you sometimes wonder what you were thinking in the first place? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's normal. And when it happens, give yourself permission to skip the lesson plan. Go outside, notice the bugs, read a book together, ask the older kids to teach the younger ones, or just send everyone to different corners for some quiet time. Some days you'll check all the boxes, some days you won't. Both are absolutely fine. So, here are my practical tips for making it easier. When you're homeschooling on the road, start by choosing your big three subjects and keep them simple so they're doable most days. Encourage your kids to capture what they're noticing through travel journals or even short video logs. Get them involved in planning too. Sometimes those little pamphlet racks in the hotel lobbies end up sparking the best adventures. Use Pinterest, Instagram, or a quick Google search to see what else is around. Try to think in terms of rhythm rather than a strict schedule and look for ways to turn everyday moments into learning opportunities. Whether that's trying new food, who knew how much Trooper would like ramen? Figuring out the bus, ferry, or subway system, hiking a trail, chatting with a park ranger. Side note, they love that. Or singing silly songs in the car. We have my favorite song that we sing in the car, and it's the 50 States That Rhyme. And I am told that everyone learns a little bit different version of that, but it's just going through all of the states in alphabetical order. So it's like Alabama and Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas. And I love that one. And because it's fun to sing, we always do it. If we see Alabama license plate, we'll always start with that. Anyone says Alabama, we'll start with that. But it also is learning. It's learning the 50 states. Then we look at a map and see where it is. It's one of my favorite things. And above all, remember to take breaks when you need them. Every day doesn't have to run perfectly to be meaningful. So whether you're homeschooling full-time, trying it out on the road, or just looking for ways to add learning to your family adventures, remember, the point isn't to get it perfect. The point is to be curious together. Travel makes learning come alive, and those shared discoveries are the memories your kids will carry with them long after the trip is over. I love when Trooper says, "Hey, you guys, remember when we..." That's my favorite part, and that's what makes us keep doing it, even when it's difficult. But before we go, here's what we talked about in this episode. Homeschool and travel pair perfectly together because of flexibility. Curiosity is sparked naturally when you're out exploring. Focus on your big 3 subjects during travel days. Use travel journals or other creative records to capture learning. Involve kids in planning so they're invested. Embrace rhythm, not a rigid schedule. And not every day will go smoothly, and that's okay. And if you'd like to revisit any of these tips, remember that the full transcript of this episode is always available on our website at readysetdepart.com. Thanks for joining me today. And remember, let's make traveling with your family easier, one trip at a time. Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, be sure to share it with your friends or even leave us a review so others can find it. Follow us on Instagram at Ready Set Depart Podcast. This is Ashley with Ready Set Depart. Remember, traveling with your family and making memories is not as hard as you think. See you next time.